Welcome to Alaska EdVenture, hosted by Dr. Meinert, Superintendent of the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. This award-winning podcast is your gateway to the heart of Alaska's educational landscape. In each episode, we'll explore the unique perspectives of guests who are shaping education in the last frontier. Join us on Alaska EdVenture as we share the insights and inspirations found in Alaska's K-12 classrooms.
Welcome back to the Alaska EdVenture podcast. I'm Dr. Luke Meinert, Superintendent of the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. And today we have two West Valley High School students that I am incredibly excited to have a conversation with. They recently presented to our Board of Education here in Fairbanks, and I can't wait for them to introduce themselves and tell you all about the amazing work that they are doing. So I'll pass it to my left and have you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Anna Westfall. I am a junior at West Valley High School and North Star College right now.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, Anna.
And I'm Annika Merkel. I'm a senior at West Valley High School right now.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast. What are we talking about today?
So we are talking about our Climate Defense League. Anna and I are co-presidents of this club. This club was started initially 5 years ago, but we took it on 2 years ago, and we've been working really hard to improve the environmental scene at West Valley.
There have been several other climate clubs at West Valley and in other schools in the district, but this is kind of the most recent club that's currently active. And we've focused a lot on recycling within our schools and figuring out how much and how we can recycle within Fairbanks and our schools.
And you're a junior, you're a senior. So have you participated in the club your entire high school career, or when did you get started?
Yeah, I have. So I was brought in by some friends when I was a freshman. I had no idea what it was, but then I started coming, and it's pretty neat because it's really cool to see because it's an entirely student-led club. Mm-hmm. There's advisor, but they don't do anything. We all do it ourselves. So I was really inspired to see a club entirely formed by students of just completely their own interests, because that was kind of new to me in school, seeing something like that.
Yeah, and I was brought into it by Annika, and so I joined, and it was just really fun. It was, like Annika said, it's just cool to see how motivated students were about it, and just how excited people were to make our schools better in general.
Absolutely. What's the leadership structure of the club? How does it operate day to day?
So right now we have two co-presidents. So last year we kind of had a vice president and a president, like a traditional style, but it just wasn't totally working the best. So we transitioned to having two co-presidents so that the duties were a little bit more balanced. And then we have a secretary and then a recycling manager. And she actually kind of looks at how much recycling we're collecting and keeps track of our hours spent on that.
Yeah, but our style, we have a pretty relaxed club. It's very, it's kind of more of a friend group. We have a lot of members, but we like to work together and get a lot of feedback from everybody. So Anna and I are co-presidents because, we're both very busy and have lots of things outside of this. And so it works really well to just collaborate entirely with each other. And then within the club structure, we're totally open to student input. So it's very loose in that way because we really want to hear what our members have to say.
Yeah, and before we started the conversation, we were talking off video a little bit about your busy lives and college classes and AP classes and violin and all of these different things. And so thinking about all of those interests and responsibilities you have, why participate in this too?
Yeah, for me, I'll say a big part of it is just growing up in Alaska because we're so northern, we're really affected by climate change primarily. And so it's really prevalent here. You can see the effects of it. And also just in a community, again, that's so far north and that things like recycling are really difficult. It's really obvious, these kind of issues. And so I saw those issues and I kind of figure that there's no better solution than working on them yourselves, right? If you see an issue, you shouldn't just say someone else is going to do it. You should try to fix it yourself. So for me, that's just part of it. It's just really important for me to work hard on that.
Yeah, I would echo what she said. I think it's it's scary to see how much the world is changing and just how much there's less snow, especially this year, than there ever has been at this time of year than any other time in my life. And so it's just really crazy and kind of scary to see. And so I've found it's been a really good way for me to be part of the solution. instead of being part of the problem.
Absolutely. Well, do your snow dances out there, because I am a big skier and I'm a little disappointed that there isn't very much snow. I know other people are happy about that, but if you're going to be here, if it's going to be cold, we might as well have snow.
Yes.
And those that don't live in Fairbanks or really even Alaska, like I come from Iowa where recycling is just the norm. Like you have to pay for your recycling receptacle at your house, and it's an expectation that you're sorting your recyclables every day. Is that the same up here, or what does that look like?
It is definitely not the same. Fairbanks has had historically very limited recycling capabilities. So in a lot of places, like I have cousins that live in like downtown Seattle, and they have like recycling bins, like you were saying, that they just put all of their recyclables in and they get picked up once a week with their trash. Here, that is definitely not the case. And so we have a recycling facility in town, and we sort all of the things. So we sort the paper from the plastic, from the cardboard, all of those things. And then we have to bring them to the recycling facility ourselves.
Wow. So that seems like a huge job. What does that look like inside the school on either a weekly or monthly basis?
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to go first from a past year's perspective. So we, for a long time, in this iteration of the climate clubs at West Valley, Climate Defense League, students would collect it on our own time in extension class. We would collect the recycling from the bins that we put out ourselves from our club money, and we would take the things that we collected, and a student would drive it to the facility. So everything we did ourselves in our own time. But recently we got a grant which got us a bin outside of West Valley that we could put our recycling in, which was really big for us because this meant we could get a lot more recycling, and it would take a lot less time for the students. But still, this is very, like, we have to do all the collection ourselves. We get all the bins, we get all the materials, but now we just have the ability to have someone else take it to the facility.
That's great. How often do you typically do that?
So we usually go to every class once a week during the extension period, 1 day a week. And so we have paper bins in every single classroom. We have them in like copy rooms, front office, counseling, library, all of those places like that, that have a lot of printers. And then we'll collect them in these big like rolling bins with a plastic bag in it. And then some of the classrooms also have plastic and aluminum bins. And that was kind of like by teacher request, because it's a little harder they get gross really fast compared to paper. We had one really bad one recently that it just takes a lot more time. And so it's kind of by request of the teacher. And so we'll go through and empty those. Like one person will do the upstairs and one person will do the downstairs.
And that's
for the
also
plastic.
once a week.
Yeah, and aluminum. And then we'll put them all into the dumpster. And then once that's full, Golden Heart Waste Management, who gave us that grant, they'll come and empty it.
Oh,
and that bin gets emptied maybe like 2 times a semester, 3 times a semester.
Yeah, I'd say like every 2 months or so.
So it's fortunate that we can put a lot of stuff in that bin, and then it gets emptied. But we were the nice thing about working with Golden Heart Waste Management is we're able to get statistics on how much we've
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yes, for sure, because that's one of the things we're really proud of.
Yeah.
So we calculate that over the past. So we got this bin last year, and we calculate that over them, like since then we've collected around 8,000 or more pounds of recycling.
Whoa. And
that's not even taking into account the materials we collected in the years before that without this bin. So we've collected a significant amount of material. And one of the really neat things about collecting aluminum, which we do now, is that gives a lot of money to the recycling facilities, which means in turn we're essentially giving them money to run in a way that also benefits our community. So it's a very symbiotic relationship, I guess you could say. But so that's one of the really neat things is that with this recycling, we can actually give back to the community directly by giving them this aluminum that they can use to finance their operations.
I love that. I was just talking about that at the board meeting last night, these partnerships between schools and how we have great partners that push into our schools, but then also our students are doing amazing things to help out the community as well. And so I think this is a great example of that.
Yeah.
How logistically did you go about getting bins in every classroom?
So at least when I started, and I think it was the same when Annika started in the club, there were just bins in every classroom. And if I have been told correctly, students fundraised through like a bake sale and used club money to purchase bins for each classroom and then distributed them. as we've gotten different teachers, new teachers, as we've added plastic and aluminum, we've been able to use some club funds for things. And then we've also gotten bins from Golden Heart. They gave us some bins to distribute to the different classrooms as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to Golden Heart.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Big thank you.
For those not in Fairbanks, again, West Valley High School is a pretty large high school.
Mhm.
And so it's a sizable donation and a sizable lift for the club to get bins in every classroom and do this
Yeah.
work on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So are there other things that your club focuses on besides recycling?
Yeah, so just for our club members, one of the things we always do is every week we have climate news, and this is available to anyone who wants to come to our club. And it's how we kind of keep our club members informed about what's happening environmentally in the global scene, in our country, because this is like staying informed is one of the best things you can do, right?
Mhm.
So we offer that to our club and for anyone who wants to come. And then additionally, we try to do a lot of community advocacy. So like, for instance, last year there was the power plant next to West Valley was kind of malfunctioning, and there was this ash coming down on the school. And so our club was like, this is not okay. We need to figure out why this is happening, right? And so we contacted UAF, who's overseeing that power plant, and we got to figure out what was happening. Got an article in the newspaper for that actually. And then in addition to things like that, we share posters with information about how people can be environmentally friendly and just try to help people. We try to make it as easy as possible for our school and the people in our school to be environmentally friendly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We also have done a lot of work we've worked with some other like local groups. So Alaska Youth for Environmental Action is a statewide program, and they, as the name suggests, is they focus on youth working to fix climate issues and like critically think about climate issues. And so we've been able to connect our club members with that organization. We had one club member attend their summit this past fall, and she came back and she was like, "Oh my gosh, it was so cool! It was a really good experience." Great. And so it's just cool to be able to like help form those connections too.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that like kind of moving forward, one of the things that we really want to do is kind of give more input into the legislature. Actually, so one of the things that kind of we were able to do recently is we looked at the climate action plan for Fairbanks, and we discussed that with other members of Alaska Youth for Environmental Action with Mayor Guyer Hopkins, sharing our input as youth from Fairbanks on what is important moving forward. And that's one of the things we stress in our club is that while we do these things like we recycle in our schools, ultimately what's going to change these issues, what's going to get us good recycling programs, what's going to help stop climate change is government taking action, big corporations, stuff like that. So that's one of the things we really want to have action on moving forward so we can create even larger change.
That's excellent. For some of these students that might not be engaged in any kind of environmental or climate advocacy, what are some things that you teach them that they could kind of take with them and change their behaviors right away?
I think part of the big thing is like we teach about like recycling and how we can recycle in Fairbanks, because as we were talking about before, like it's hard to recycle here. And there's just like a lot of specifics, and we can recycle a lot less materials than some other places can. And so I think sharing about that. We also talk a lot about being informed and staying relevant on like news and politics and all of those kinds of things, because that's a really powerful way, because we also like talk about the importance of voting, and that kind of goes hand in hand with being up to date on news. And obviously no one here can really in the club can really vote, but we talk about like you guys are going to be able to vote someday. It's really important that you find what's important to you and you think about those issues critically and are able to make a change through your vote.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for having that conversation with your fellow students.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about the statewide network. Are there any other clubs within Fairbanks schools, at our other schools that are doing similar work?
Yeah, so this has actually been one of the things we're working on this year. So we have been trying really hard to create these organizations in other schools, but there's not a whole lot, actually. There was some network at Lathrop High School previously, but a lot of those students graduated. So one of the things we're trying to do is kind of find the students who are driven in these schools and create an environmental club. Because I think sometimes to people it seems like a task and they don't want to do it. Even some people I know at West Valley, I think they think that about our club, but it's really not about that. It's just kind of about showing up and being present and acknowledging these issues. So while there aren't, but I know there's one of the things is I know there's a lot of teachers who want this recycling in their schools. So we have the want for these programs. We just need to kind of spark the interest in this kind of program at the other schools. And we know there's students who want to do it. That's kind of why we're here, is we just really need to share about this with more people so they know it's an option.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if we do have students or parents or teachers out there that are interested in getting this started at their school, how would they get in contact with your club?
Yeah, so our club advisor has done a lot of like communication and outreach work. We did last year we donated some bins to different teachers at some elementary schools. That was a little challenging because we can't necessarily go and like pick up all of the bins from all of the different schools. But we had several teachers who were interested in having recycling bins and being connected. And so we had our club advisor like send an email to our school principal, and then he sent an email to all of the other principals. And so I think getting in contact with our club advisor is kind of like one of the best ways to do that as well.
Great. So what's next for your club? Do you have any other plans or goals?
Yeah, well, kind of as I was saying, I actually think I brought up most of them. So one of the big ones, especially for me, I think is legislative action, because that's what's going to be making the real change coming. So I think that's really important, and that's something we'd like to work on. Also, like, there's things in our club that we do, like we're thinking of planting trees this spring.
Oh, neat.
And yeah, so just things like this which give people an outlet for their feelings, because a lot of people a lot of people are stressed by like climate change, by the lack of recycling, and it's really great to give people kind of an outlet to have, just to give them something to do, really, like that there's things you can do that will make change. So kind of one of the things we just want to do is we really want to provide that space for people. We really want to, one of the things that is kind of our motto is you want to be, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem in a sense, right? So it's kind of black and white, but essentially just that anything you do is better than nothing, and we just want to really cultivate that atmosphere in our school and in other schools and encourage people to do whatever they can to be more environmentally friendly, be more aware of what's happening in their community, etc.
I love that. Yeah, just start taking those little steps today, and that leads to big change down the road.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, we've done a lot of other, like last year, one of our big projects was we collected a whole bunch of bottle caps, and we used a leftover piece of like 4x4 plywood from a drama production, and we painted it with kind of a West Valley inspired like mural. So it's got like mountains on it and a sun, and then like the rays of sun are West Valley colors. And so we put bottle caps over the whole thing. And so now it's this huge, like 4 foot by 4 foot mural. And that was a really fun project, and everybody really enjoyed doing that. I know there's some other ones at like other schools, and it's not a unique thing necessarily, but it was cool to be able to like work on that. And so I think we want to keep being able to do projects like that use materials that would otherwise go to the landfill, because bottle caps is a good example. Like they can't always be recycled.
For sure.
Yeah, and we want to, like, just things like this where we're making it fun, really, because it doesn't have to be a chore to take care of the planet, right? Like taking care of the planet can be fun, and it can be gratifying. And one of the things that we are so proud of in our club is that we have a really great network of friends. And so I legitimately don't think of any of them think of it as a task. Like they come there and they have a lot of fun. It's really fun to walk around the school in the morning, pick up recycling, chat with your friends. It's really fun to do art projects, because a lot of our students are taking really hard classes, right? And they don't get much chance to do art. So painting a 4x4 plywood board, right? Like gluing some bottle caps onto that board, planting trees, right? So it's a really neat space that is like, it's almost just it's a fun space that as a benefit we are helping the planet.
I love that. Well, the two of you are incredibly inspiring. I loved your board report. I loved our podcast today talking about all the great things that you're doing. And it gives me just so much encouragement thinking about the next generation and the world that you're carrying forward. And I love the work that you're doing and the inspiration that you're bringing to other students, not only in your school, but it sounds like around the state. So is there anything else that you would like people to know about the work that you're doing or about your club before we wrap it up today?
Yeah, well, I just want to respond to what you said about our generation. And I just want to say that our generation cares about these issues and we are fighting for them.
Yes, I do.
We are, so just want to put that out there. Like, I think I've talked to some adults that are surprised by what we're doing, but I'm kind of like, don't be surprised. There's a lot of us and we really care and we're really going to fight for these issues. So support us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just echo that. I think it's important to know that you can take action and you can make a difference in what you want to see and work towards that.
I love that. Well, I look forward to, you're already doing great things today, but I can't wait to see your trajectory into the future and the amazing work that you'll continue to do in our communities, whether it be in Alaska or across the country. So thank you for your willingness to come on and have a chat today about your club. And thanks for everything that you're doing within West Valley High School in Fairbanks.
Yeah, thank you for giving this outlet to kind of share what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's another edition of the Alaska EdVenture podcast, and we look forward to seeing you next time.